All right, so this video is just going to be kind of a crash course or a review of what your water park project is and what task 1 through 3 were. These should already be done because we talked about them and they were actually due before you left school on Tuesday, but just in case you didn't get them done, this is just a quick review on what you were supposed to do. So on task number 1, it kind of just gives you a layout of what the expectations are for the water park. You are to include all of these items down here at the bottom: a help center, a large whirlpool, 3 different water slides, a toddler area, a lazy river, a concession stands, a gift shop, a restrooms, and security desk. I did say that if you wanted to add other things, that was fine, but you weren't going to have to include them in on the tasks that you do moving forward. You also needed to make sure that you put entrances on each of these attractions, and you put the entrances at exact coordinate points that you could find, so not in the middle of your coordinate grids. So I'm going to use this example. So when I'm talking about your entrances that exact, you can see here that the security desk entrance is right here, so it's exactly at 0.4, -3. And then the entrance to the concessions is right here. It's exactly at -5, -4, so that they're easy to identify. It'll make what we do moving forward a lot simpler for you. So that is task 1. Make sure you take a picture of your map and submit it onto Google Classroom under task 1 assignment. Even if I've already okayed it, graded it, I still want you to do that just so I can have all of your project in one place. Make sure you do add color to it because that is a requirement. All right, moving on to task 2. So task 2, you are supposed to name your coordinates. So using those entrances, you were supposed to write them as ordered pairs. So for example, if I was to look at, let's do the security desk since I already have that one highlighted. So for the security desk, the coordinate point would be 4, -3. So I'd go back to here and I'd write that down where it says security desk, which is 4, -3. Remember that your ordered pair is always x, y, and your x's are horizontal and your y's are up and down. So that would be your task 2. Again, take a picture of that, submit it onto Google Classroom under task 2 assignment. All right, the third task that we talked about before you left, and I checked most of them before you left, was task 3, and that was calculating slope. This is something that we did earlier in the year, so it should be a review and hopefully come back to you. So up here at the top of the page, it's going to give you the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to use 2 of the coordinate points. I use the concession stand and the toddler area, so I'm actually using this one over here. So I told you before you left that I wanted you to write the ordered pair above it so that A, it's easier for you to plug into the formula, and B, it's easier for me to check. So my toddler area coordinates were 7, -12, and my concessions area entrance was -5, -4. I want you to do that on all of them. So right above all of these, I want you to write them in so that you can better see and plug in the formula correctly. So if you want to, you can write in what your x1, y1, x2, y2 is. Again, I would suggest doing that, especially in order to substitute correctly. So this would be x1, y1. This would be x2, y2. So then when I show my work, because yes, you are required to show your work, I would substitute that into the formula. So y2 is -4 minus y1, which is -12, all over x2, which is -5, minus x1, which is 7. Okay, you can see here that I have 2 negatives, so I can make it into a smiley face, which makes it a positive. So if I have 4 negatives and I add 12, I would get +8 over If I'm down 5 and I go down 7 more, I'd be down 12. You do need to simplify these, so I could divide both the top and bottom by 4, which would give me a negative 2/3, and that would be my slope. So then I would do that for all of those different calculations that it asks me to. So that is task 3. Again, you'll take a picture, submit it under the assignment in Google Classroom of task 3. And when you're finished with that, you can move on to task 5. I took out this task 4 here because we didn't talk about calculating midpoint during the year, so that's why you will not have a task 4.